Welcome back, gentlemen. Today on the University of Smooth from the middle of the Midwest, are you smarter than your penis? We're going to return to the topic that will be a dominant theme for a while here on University of Smooth, mimetic desire. We're going to enter this topic by issuing a quasi correction from a video that we put out a little while ago. Question was, of the three, which is the most important? Get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. At the time, I had said get jacked. There are plenty of good reasons why that is still true. Having said that, if you are in the position to cultivate clout, dude, convert that talent to clout. The number of things that you can bypass by having clout, if you're able to convert, get on it. As we've said, mimetic desire falls into the category of learn game. The reason we're focusing on mimetic desire is first because you don't need me to help you get in shape, and you don't need me to help you get clout. You do that on your own. You can learn game a lot of places, but if you have a solid understanding of the nature of desire, sexual attraction, psychological attraction, and the many, many, many nuances around desire vis-a-vis the sexual marketplace, which is a perfect way to teach this concept, you'll be able to navigate both life and the sexual marketplace significantly more effectively than somebody who's just getting in shape and just learning how to occasionally get laid. There are going to be limits about how much you can manipulate that universe around you. But if you have a mastery of the concepts of desire at this deeper, deeper level, it will serve you well. I live in a small-ish town in the middle of the Midwest. It's the type of city where to get to know people, you ask them where you went to high school. I moved here a couple of years ago to follow a professional opportunity that happens to be going very well. It was a personal challenge for me to move to a city where I literally knew nobody. When you have lived in a big city like I have and lived in other small towns, you start to recognize how small the town really is the more you get to know people. Here's a good illustration of that. One of the main places that I see women on a semi-regular basis is the gym. There's a woman I've seen at the gym, one of several, and I'll call her the number 6. She is a public 6 and a private 6. A woman who I've noticed, considered somewhat attractive, not overly intrigued by her, but thought she was pleasant enough. After a handful of months of seeing her around, one day when the opportunity presented itself, I struck up a conversation with her. I figured if it went somewhere, cool. If it didn't, no big deal. It didn't go anywhere. I thought very little of it and went about my day. Public 6, private 6, before 6, after 6. Contemporaneously in an entirely different sphere of experience. Became friends with a dude in town who liked to go out, went out quite a bit, usually drinking. A few months ago, we were at a social function together, hanging out, taking it easy, and this girl from the gym, number 6, passed by. I remarked to my friend, "Oh, I've seen that girl at the gym. I've talked to her once or twice." He told me, "Oh, her? That's my ex-wife." Interestingly enough, public 6, private 6 suddenly became public 6, private 7.5 to 8. This is mimetic desire. So here we have baseline sexual attraction. I used to look at this woman and say, yes, she checks every box that I need to get a boner. Then I find out this one fact about her, and all of a sudden I go from I would smash to I really want to smash. A little extra context here to help us get an idea of how imitative desire works. My friend, who I go out with and socialize with, very tall, very athletic, very sociopathic. The fact that this woman used to be attracted to him does not in any way suggest that she would be attracted to me, because this guy who I hang out with from time to time, our personalities are not all that close. So that's a non-factor. Second, the fact that they divorced a while ago, and from what I gather, having met enough people in the social circle to realize that it was way more her not wanting to do with him. I now understand that there's not even a personality overlap, where the personality similarities that I have with my friend would have caused me to find her more attractive, because I felt like there was some sort of symbiosis to how she got along with him and how she may get along with me. That's a non-factor. The attractiveness thing is a non-factor. Her finding him attractive does not translate to me. Literally, the only fact that changed is that I learned that he used to find her attractive enough to marry her. My penis learned from him that it really, really wanted to be inside of her just because he thought that it was a really good idea too. That is mimetic desire. I didn't have any control over the fact that before I knew this information about her, I thought of her as a six. That was baseline sexual attraction. After I learned this information, this single fact, and by the way, in the 5 seconds from her being a total stranger to being my buddy's ex wife, her ass didn't suddenly become more shapely. Her breasts didn't grow. Her face didn't become prettier. All I learned was that he used to hook up with her, and that made me more interested. And I had no choice in that either. All I want you to understand for this lesson is that mimetic desire, similar to sexual attraction, is something that can happen without you having any choice in the matter. Desire doesn't care. You can control for certain variables to make yourself more desirable. That's why we impart our 3-part plan to every one of you. But even beyond that, desire doesn't care. Sometimes it just blows with the wind. You will have no choice about the fact that you suddenly are much more interested in somebody than you were 5 seconds ago. At times, women will experience the same thing where they will have no control over the fact that they may find you significantly more attractive than they did just a few minutes before, based on some random piece of information. So you may not have a choice in the fact that your desire can go any number of different directions, but you can, in a lot of ways, control how you respond to these fluctuations in desire. And we'll get into that much, much more as we continue. Like, subscribe. Thanks for listening. How dare you? That is none of your fucking business. All I can tell you is that my penis is pretty damn smart and it knows its way around town. Thank you very much. Take care.